Hi viewers, how are you? I am hopeful that all of you will be fine. Dear students, today we are going to discuss the most important thing that is known as the brain of research. So today I am going to explain the data collection tools which are used in research. The research may either be qualitative or quantitative. In every type of research, there is always the great need of collecting data, and the validity and reliability of the research, the genuineness of the research depends upon the data collection tool, the analysis of the data. So there are different tools used for collection of data, but the most important thing is data. What is data? Data means the process of collecting information about the research topic. Data may be in numerical. If it is in numerical, it is known as quantitative data. But sometimes the data may be in the form of words. So when the data collected in the form of words, views, ideas, they are called qualitative data. So there are two major types of data. The first one is called primary data. Primary data is also known as pure data. The data collected directly from the source. The source means the respondents, the research participants. So primary data is that type of data in which the researcher visits the participants and collect the data directly. It is first-hand data having validity and reliability. It means that this is called primary data because it is the most authentic data. It is collected by the researcher directly from the respondents, and it has the high validity and reliability because validity and reliability are the two basic tools used for the verification of data. So the data is collected by the researcher himself by visiting the participants. So that is called primary data. And the opposite of primary data is secondary data. Secondary data means the data which is already collected by someone else and utilized by the researcher. Means that in this type of data, the data is already available and the present researcher used that collected data for his research purposes. So that is called secondary data. Secondary data means that it is not directly collected by the researcher. For these data collection, there are used various types of tools, and out of that tool, one is called interview. Interview is the process, as it is clear, inter means insight and view means look. So the process of looking into the mind of a person is called interview. Interview is a qualitative research method. Qualitative research method is that research method in which the data is obtained in verbal forms, used to collect primary data. Interviews are the tools which are used by the researcher for obtaining primary data, because primary data is that data in which the researcher visits the participants and collect data about his research topic. It is a research method using questions as tool for correction of data. Interview is based on different types of questions related with the research topic. So the researcher asks that question in sequence from the participants, and the participants submitted their response to the question. So the researcher collect all that responses, then give a tabulated form to that, and then go for the analysis of data. But remember that fakeness is involved. Fakeness is involved mean that sometime, for example, if I ask a question which is against the nature of the respondent. So if I say that do you like Facebook? So the respondent may have likeness for Facebook, but at that time he hides his subjective elements, and in response he will give me the answer that no. So this data is not 100% pure, because the respondent sometimes develops prejudice, they become biased, so they give opposite answer to that question which needs positive answer. Then interviews are further divided into three major types. The one is called structured. Structured means which has proper beginning, proper middle, and proper end. The type of interview in which a researcher asks the participant a list of questions prepared in advance. All the inductions interviews are structured most of the time, except for the interview which is conducted during CSS exam. So structured interviews are those in which the panel or the researcher have already designed questions for the collection of data, and that questions have been thoroughly analyzed by the expert researcher. That questions have been passed through the pilot test, and after passing the pilot test, that questions have been made the part of the interview. It is close-ended. Close-ended means that it is a type of short question. They will ask you that do you think that teaching methodologies have the effect on the learning process of the learner. So it means that you have not been asked to go for the arguments, but you just say yes or no. So they are known as dichotomous. Dichotomous means where you have to answer in yes or no. Then unstructured. Unstructured means no pre-arranged questions. Means this is the type of interview in which the questions are not predetermined to the researcher. Based on the interviewee's response, the researcher looks to and observe the response of the interviewees. Interviewee means the person from which the data is collected by the researcher. And keeping that response in mind, the researcher frame another question for further elaboration and further receiving the data. Mainly contains open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are also known as argumentative interviews, in which the researcher involves the participants in arguments, and on the basis of their arguments he frames his own data. It is based on honest feedback. When you want to get honest data, you have to involve the respondents in arguments, because when you ask a person that do you like this, he will say yes or no. But when you involve the person, he will start passing the comments. When he will go for the comments, he will elaborate his own mind. So when he or she will elaborate his mind, you will come to know that either what is the response given by the respondents, it is true or not true. Then the third one is semi-structured. Semi-structured means it is the type of interview in which open-ended and close-ended questions are there, and it is known as mixed method interview. Mixed method interview means, as you know that dear students, that nowadays there is the trend path, mixed method research. Mixed method research is the type of research which is qualitative plus quantitative. So when mixed method research is there, it is strongly supported by Creswell, LRK. So it semi-structured interviews contain mixed method questions. Means some of the questions will be looking for yes no and other will be looking for detailed response. So mixed method interview has the high validity. Dear viewers, let's come to this class. Interview looking into, but this interview may be face to face. Face to face means that is direct. It may be online. Online means the usage of ICT, information communication technology, by cell phone, by WhatsApp, whatsoever it is. It may be individual, one by one respondent will be there and the researcher will ask question from that single person. It may be in the group form. Then remember that structured interview, the other name for structured interview is directive interview. Directive interview means in which you will not be asked to pass the arguments, but you have just to state that either you like or not. Means dichotomous, yes or no. Unstructured means non-directive. Non-directive means it is subjective by nature. You will be asked by the researcher and you have to go for the detailed answer. For example, the question, describe the role of Facebook on learning of students at secondary level. So here the respondents will give you detailed arguments, so that is called non-directive. So dear students, as for the development of your information regarding research data collection tool, go through it, like the channel, subscribe it, and go for giving your own feedbacks that I shall improve for further videos. Thank you very much.